Every day is filled with choices. You're here because you're choosing to start with a win. Get ready to be inspired, learn something new, and connect with the Win Nation.
And coming to you from Denver, Colorado, home of RE/MAX World Headquarters, it's Adam Contos, CEO with Start With a Win. It's always nice to start off with a little dancing win.
That's right. I did my jogging dance.
It was almost like Running Man, but you're sitting there at your in your studio.
Yeah, sitting Running Man.
So just upper body. So, hey, Mark, we have a really great person on today. A great friend, excellent leader. Somebody who has a massive amount of impact on business, on education, and on RE/MAX, my home. We have Dr. Christine Riordan. How you doing, Chris?
I'm doing great, Adam. It's wonderful to be here with you this morning.
All right, you are just like this really, really deep inspiration of knowledge here. So I want to kind of dive right in and get to some of these cool key points that you've been through in your career and some of the businesses you've helped, things like that. So let's just start. During your tenure as president of Adelphi, you really laid the groundwork for the university strategic plan. And every business is based on a strategic plan. You call yours momentum. So what's the purpose of this initiative? And, what was your role in the development? Why should an organization have a strategic plan?
Yeah, great question, Adam. So I think any organization, whether you're a nonprofit or a for-profit organization, should have a strategic plan. It does a couple of things. One, it lays out, I think, the vision, and it helped provide a roadmap. What I found was that the strategic plan gave everyone a language. They had words that they could use. They could identify with the goals. They could align their jobs. They could align their activities for the year. And everybody was rowing in the same direction. And by doing that, we were able to accomplish some pretty significant outcomes over a 5-year period of time. And without that plan, we would not have been able to do it because we just needed everybody to really focus on our main objectives and main goals and to really all be working together.
How did having a structured strategic plan, and obviously you have to pivot from that here and there, how did that help you during the pandemic?
Yeah, I think it kept us focused on what our mission really was about. And that's, clearly it's about providing a quality educational experience for the students who come through the university. And that really was at top of mind, and also keeping our entire community safe. Those two things were really of priorities as we started planning for the pandemic.
For those that don't know you as well as I do, I get to work with you quite frequently. Your ability to communicate with people is amazing. And for everybody listening, if you don't ever get to sit down with a leader who's able to succinctly deliver knowledge with clarity, you need to find somebody, because that's a great person to bounce your ideas off of and talk to. I also find it interesting that you happen to be writing a book right now called Shift Happens. But can you tell us about that book and, what readers can expect to learn from that? Because your books are fantastic, by the way. And here's the title of it: Shift Happens: How to Adapt and Thrive in a Rapidly Changing World of Work.
I think it's predicted by 2030 that 375 million people, 375 million employees will have to change their jobs and the way that they do things because of automation, technology, just the way that we've changed business, et cetera. And certainly we saw the entire world have to change the way that they operated this past year and a half. And so this book really is about how to adapt and thrive in any situation that you might find yourself in. So I talk a lot about the inability to adapt traps, common pitfalls that people fall into when they're not able to move through a change successfully. And then I also look a lot at what successful people do. There are some people who successfully manage through changes very easily and others who do not. As we see shifts happen, very big ones, we call those shocks. So the 2008 was a shock. The pandemic was a shock. When a shock occurs, you absolutely know that you have to be different. And then you start thinking about how you need to be different, how you need to manage differently. I think everybody in all organizations through the pandemic now operate differently. A lot of what I talk about in the book is when you don't have a shock, when it's not a real obvious change, and you keep doing the things that you're doing and they don't work out. And how do you actually start recognize those times when you need to be different, when it's not such an obvious point where you need to be different.
So, Chris, you presented a TED Talk. Tell us about some of its key takeaways. Take us through this TED Talk and talk a little bit about the content. And what did you hope others would learn from what you were talking about?
My TED Talk was Dare to be Extraordinary, and some of the features in that talk actually are part of this book as well. But I really talked about 3 different components of, aspects, attributes of extraordinary people. And those 3 attributes are passion, courage, and resilience. And, when you really think about it, and people that who may be extraordinary, they often display an extraordinary amount of passion for whatever it is that they're doing. When you are passionate about your job, you're passionate about your industry, it shows. To start with a win, as you would say, you want to be passionate about the things that you do. The courage, I think, is you always have to have the courage to do the right thing and to make really hard decisions in work and in life. And we see that day in and day out when you have to make really hard decisions as leaders. I do talk a lot about having the courage to make those hard choices, those hard decisions, and to always do the right thing. And then resilience, I think, is having that attitude. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has failures. I've not met a person yet in my life that hasn't had something go wrong. And I think the resilience is just not giving up, getting back up again, having that attitude of try again tomorrow. I think when you think about being extraordinary, 3 key attributes: having passion for what you do, having the courage to make hard decisions and do the right thing, and having the resilience to get back up again tomorrow when something doesn't go well.
Passion, courage, and resilience, keywords for any leader and really for anybody who wants to go out and win every day and have really a fulfilling, happy life, for crying out loud. Chris, it's been an honor and a pleasure to have you on Start With a Win today. I do have one question that I wrap up every one of these with. Dr. Christine Riordan, this is called Start With a Win. So how do you start your day with a win?
Well, every morning I wake up between 4 and 5 a.m. and then I read the news quickly to see what's happening in the world. And then I actually take that time to myself. It's where I spend time kind of planning out the day or the week. It's where I start thinking about complex problems that may be going on that I need to help resolve. It's a time when I really think about what else I could be doing to be better. I think a lot about what I should be doing to help support my team and really plan out my day. It's quiet. I'll have a cup of coffee, sit with my bulldog snoring next to me, and really plan out my day and my week and what else I need to be thinking about as a leader. And that's how I start each day with a win.
I love that. Thank you so much. I mean, everybody needs to start with some reflection and planning, and that's, leaders take the time to do that. So we appreciate you being on the show, and thanks for starting with a win.
Great being with you, Adam.
Hey, and thank you so much for listening to Start With a Win. If you'd like to ask Adam a question or tell us your Start With a Win story, give us a call, leave us a message at 888-581-4430. Don't forget, Start With a Win, the book is coming out soon, and so you want to head over to startwithwin.com and pre-order your copy. You are not going to want to miss that, and there's probably might be some surprises for people who pre-order that book. So startwithwin.com to find out more about that. As always, you can follow Adam on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Watch these great videos on YouTube. Until next time, remember to start with a win.
All right. Are we still on YouTube, Mark?
We are still on YouTube for everyone who stuck around until the end here. I have a question for you. When you were younger, I mean, did you kind of have a dream to be something like an astronaut or something like that? What does that look like for you?
No, I actually, I actually went on to go get my engineering degree, and my father was a professor and my mother was a teacher and a principal. And the one thing I said that I was not going to be when I was growing up was a teacher or a professor. And I absolutely
somebody in the educational system.
Yeah. So somehow what I said when I was not going to be, I ended up doing it after I went into industry for a while.
But then the universe knew that you'd be passionate about it and that you would love it.
Absolutely.
And so that's awesome. Well, this has been a fantastic interview. Thanks so much for being a part of it and hanging out with us here this morning. And hey, thanks you guys for sticking around on YouTube. If you're watching these videos, please share them and hit that thumbs up button if you got some value out of this. Also, you can hit that bell icon and it will remind you every single time a new episode is released. And as always, subscribe. And until next time, we'll see you when we see you.